I started off as a telemarketer. I said, hey, tell your GM to reconsider because I'm going to make you guys a lot of money. I've had, I think, 8, 9 different positions with our company over the years.
Yeah, because I always wonder, like, how is it the people that do have kids past 50?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already drained.
You can appreciate somebody, but if they don't fairly compensate it, you lose them. So I try to keep the balance in that.
As soon as you get rid of the victim mindset, nobody owes you anything. If you do need help, go get it.
So our volume is going to double. We're going from 2 design centers to 5.
Welcome back to the Stan Lebed Show. I am super excited to be flying out to Seattle, Washington to sit down with our next guest, Michael Owen, who runs a multi-million-dollar company that serves top luxury builders and contractors in the Washington area. Cannot be more excited because this guy is a very successful businessman, entrepreneur, and a great family man. So stay tuned. See you guys there. Guys, welcome back to the Stan Lebed Show. We have a very special guest here, Michael Owen. This guy is actually my former boss. Probably
Yeah, I hate that
10
word.
years ago. I hate the word former too.
I hate boss. Yeah, I don't like the former either.
Yeah,
Those are still with us.
because I know a lot of people say used to. I hate the word used to.
Yeah.
I always like to be in the present, but this guy is a true inspiration for me 10 years ago, and I still look up to you. To this day, I always tell my wife and Victor every time I see him, like, how much you blessed me in those days.
Well, you have very low standards,
So
so I appreciate it.
and no low standards. But Mike,
It's good to see you, buddy.
thanks for taking it. I want to also give Luca a shout out.
Yeah, Luca.
What's the last name?
Hosavar.
Holsavar.
Yeah.
For letting us borrow his space.
Yeah.
Man, it would have been nice to have him on, but he just had a baby, so
Yeah, vigor, ground, and fitness. So
yeah, this guy is his gym is unbelievable. So yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to get into our history.
yeah.
So I moved here when I think you guys hired me when I was 18 years old.
Wow.
I
So
was
you're
18.
still young.
I was 18 years old, I believe, when I first came on. I'm 29 now. So
Yeah.
I was 18. You were kind of running the show.
Yeah.
You and Carl, but we won't get too much into Carl. So I guess that kind of just going back there from where you were the GM, right?
Yes.
McAdam Floor and Design.
Yeah.
And you guys hired me on. I remember that. Gave me so much opportunity.
Yeah.
3 years later, when I got married, you were trying to bring me back on as like a crew leader.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
And it seems like that was a good thing for you, not for us as much.
But I even like leave the work behind. I just kind of want to get into your personal life a little bit. You can kind of share like your family and
No, I
kids,
appreciate that.
wife.
Yeah. So now, 4 kids, first marriage, 2 daughters. My oldest will be 26 here shortly. My other one's 23, lives in Spokane.
You do not look
It's wild, man.
old enough to have a daughter.
I give all credit to my wife. She's got this whole thing that she's got me going through, and she knows. She's like, if you're not putting the stuff on my face, like she's like, hey,
Wild.
are you putting the stuff on your face? Like she'll call me out. So yeah, we'll get into that later maybe if we want to talk about beauty tips. And then I got remarried. So we've been together about 8 years, and we have a 5-year-old daughter who's amazing. And then our son just turned 1 year old, and he is like,
Oh, our kids are almost the same age.
I know, wow. So
6 and 8 month. But having that young kid, is that keeping you?
oh my gosh. Yeah. So when I signed up for it, like mentally, I was like, oh, this no problem. We can do this. I sincerely did not realize physically what it was going to be like to be versus, when I was 25 versus 50 years old. It's keeping me on my toes for sure. And then I read articles and journals about if you have kids after the age of 40, you live longer. And now I get it because I don't get to like just sleep on the couch anymore, or take naps. Like that is gone. So it's another reason why I'm very focused on, fitness, thankfully with Luca, trying to stay out ahead of it so I can lift my kid, have fun with them.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I always wonder, like, how is it the people that do have kids past 50?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already drained, and I'm not even 30 yet. I'm like, how did these people have energy?
Yeah, drugs. I don't know. We try to. It's tough. Like Bear, that's my son. He's awesome, and he's not sleeping through the night yet. So we run crazy. So like last night, I was up till 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock.
Man, I give you props though for even having that's a blessing though, to have it.
It's about kids. That's our legacy.
That's awesome.
Like that's the thing you want to leave the world in a better place with. Hopefully.
Do you kind of want to touch base? I kind of like to know people's bringing as well.
Yeah.
And you can kind of relate their success to how they were raised.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of touch a little bit on like your upbringing
Yeah,
growing up?
my mom and dad, we moved a lot. So from the time I was born until I graduated high school, I went to 13 schools, 5 high schools. So we were always moving. My mom and dad are still married. They're amazing, very close to them. They live in Arizona. I've got a younger sister and brother, and it's just been like like any other family, right? You have highs and lows, but we were taught early on like you just kind of power through the best you can. And
So were you born here? Like,
no, I was born in California and then lived in Arizona and then moved out to Portland. And then now I've lived in Seattle. I've never lived anywhere as long as I've lived in Seattle. I've been in Seattle now for 16, 17 years.
wow.
And that's partly because I moved so much as a kid that I'm like, I didn't want to do that to my kids. So I love it here, even though you're not coming back, which is disappointing.
I think our paths will definitely cross though in the
I agree. They are right now.
yeah, and even like in business, because man,
I agree.
there's so much opportunity, and I want to be around people like you.
As iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. So I think that's important. And when you called me, I honestly thought I was like, "Oh my goodness, man, he's coming back." So
That'll be
but then for you to for you to tell me it's like that I'm doing a podcast, I got all this other stuff going on. I'm really happy for you.
No, I appreciate. I think our paths will definitely
For sure.
especially because you kind of shared off camera the investment that you're kind of
Yeah.
into in that
Yeah.
field. And I guess going back to McAdam real quick, how you've grown. So how long you been with the company?
So if you count my days in Portland, 25 years.
25 years.
This July will be 25 years with the same company. So it's a long time.
And then I guess where'd you start off? Like
I started off as a telemarketer. True
telemarketer.
story. So yeah, they originally did not want to hire me, and the GM did not want to hire me in Portland. I called the owner. I said, "Hey, tell your GM to reconsider because I'm going to make you guys a lot of money." So he gave me this job as a telemarketer under a staircase in the back room,
Wow.
and that lasted for a few months because I got paid on leads that I brought in, so that worked out okay. And then I got into retail, and then I was a retail manager, and then I got into the builder side of it.
Wow.
And that's kind of like I've had, I think, 8, 9 different positions with our company over the years.
So if you didn't start off there, you would have never
No.
learned. Yeah. So a lot of people want to get into the game.
Yeah.
They want to start.
Oh,
So I just heard a huge thing. I went to the conference. You know Eric Thomas?
I do not
He's one of
know.
like the top motivational speakers in the world. So he was saying like, stop looking at the top level. In order to get to the top level, you just got to look at the next level. Don't look at the top level. Definitely. So I think a lot of people where their mistakes are is they want to get into the top level right off the bat.
Yeah.
You don't have the skills yet built up. So starting at the lower level is not a bad thing.
No.
You can relate. I mean, starting as a telemarketer too,
Yeah.
GM, and now you want to announce it on camera.
Yeah. We just got bought out, and which is pretty awesome. So I'm now going to be a minority partner in the new adventure, and we're merging with another company that's out of Portland. So our volume is going to double. The amount of employees we have is going to double. We're going from 2 design centers to 5, and I'm excited. My business partner and his wife, Marianne, Mike and Marianne, like we get along pretty well. I've known him for quite a few years. So, yeah, and so yeah, I feel kind of revitalized, truthfully, and I'm excited for our team. As you know, like we have out of 54 employees, 19 of them have been with me for 10 plus years, and
Awesome.
I take a lot of pride in that.
Are you allowed to share like how much volume you guys bring in?
I'm a little bit of a ninja with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, nah, you don't want to always.
So I won't get into all the but I'll tell you this, like we're probably doing about 4 times what we did when you were here.
And I thought back then you guys were like crushing.
Yeah, so we've grown quite a bit, and listen, it's like life. It just I don't think you get to the top of the mountain, like you don't just stay there. So when you summit it, it's like, okay, what's the next one? So I think that's kind of where we're at. And this next one that we're going to be tackling, we're pretty excited about.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, back in the day, I learned a lot from you as because you were the GM at that time, and you're a very well spoken person. So motivation. I feel like you could have took a route in life on like public speaking. You're just
Appreciate it.
so well there, and I kind of just want to like get your, I guess, to inspire people around the world, or younger generation, like what it takes to from where you came to where you are now. Like, what is a kind of advice that you would give somebody younger? There's so much that you could probably say.
Yeah, no. I get it.
Obviously, hard work.
I've thought about this because I knew we were going to be doing this. hard work goes without saying, but I would say that like pain, like if I look at how I ended up here, yes, hard work without a doubt, but pain is the most amazing teacher of all. And so anytime I've had like a significant growth in my life, whether it be physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it's usually because I've gone through some pain. And I think that that also mimics, whether you work out, right? You got to go through pain to grow muscle, whether you and I've never given birth to a child, but like my wife, right? I've witnessed that, you've witnessed that, to see the pain that, our spouses went through when they gave birth to our children, immense pain, but then you produce this beautiful baby. And sometimes the baby can be your business. It can be my business. It can be a goal, a hobby. It doesn't matter what it is. Like if you want to get better at it, I think you have to experience pain. And if you're not experiencing pain, then I would suggest that maybe you're not challenging yourself enough.
I mean, has there any have you ever had any like big personal pains, I guess, that helped you in business
Oh my God.
that you learn from? Because I know everybody has a story.
Yeah.
I know we always get told like, hey, the best testimony is no testimony, but we all have a testimony in a way that our personal life pain has, especially
Yeah.
for me, which made me who I am today in business.
Yeah.
It's not always business pains that makes us successful. It's sometimes our personal.
I think for me, my personal pains are the things that have made me, I think, hopefully a better businessman, a better leader. When I was, my first marriage, going through that divorce, medicating with things that weren't healthy. I mean, at the time we were doing pretty well financially. So on the outside,
Yeah.
it looked great. Like we'd go to church on Sundays, I'd raise my hands. I was involved. But on the inside, I was dying, my character, all of that. So I think that was, at least for me, like the really big crossroad in my life, and which turned into me doing like 4+ years of therapy and I wanted to be a better version of myself because I didn't want to repeat any of that. And it would have been simple for me at that time to just be a victim. And I think I would have stayed there. I wouldn't be across from you now for sure. I probably would not even be with McAdam anymore if I would have just stayed there.
Hey, see, like nobody knows this kind of stuff. So that's the thing with social media is you only see the good. You don't see this stuff like the therapy. If you have, or playing the victim. So a lot of my podcasts, like my goal is for us to stop playing victim because victim mindset it kills people. And there's always going to be that. Oh, I could, I'm doing this because of this or this, but staying in that spot. As soon as you get rid of the victim mindset, nobody owes you anything. It's you versus you. So if you do need help, go get it.
Yeah.
Go get therapy. So, man, thanks for sharing that because that could definitely help somebody.
But it's a tough thing because like we go through life and we are victimized at times, right? Like really bad, horrible stuff can happen to us. Sometimes it's self provided. Like so it was me. I don't blame anybody for the mistakes I've made. It was on me. But that being said, I wanted, and my relationship with God strengthened through that time. It became more real. And I went from what I would call a victor's mentality,
That's good. And
because I realized like, okay, I don't want to stay here. I can't. The voice, we were talking about it earlier, like the voice in our head.
yeah,
And when you listen to, if the voice is not aligned properly, it can derail your life pretty quickly. And I still struggle with, thoughts of defeat and rejection. You can ask my wife, like she knows me and she knows I struggle with rejection, like even in our relationship. So there's always opportunities for growth. It never stops, man.
no, but like I feel like you had to go through that to make you where you are.
100%.
So that's the way I look at life too. Right? I'm so happy. Like I almost got paralyzed in Washington 10 years ago.
It's crazy.
So when I was working at McAdam,
Yeah.
believe it or not, I was almost paralyzed working for McAdam.
It's wild.
From a snowboarding accident. But
I'm glad
I'm
that
like,
didn't happen.
thank God that I did go through that because I learned so much. And then even going through my tumor situation, if it wasn't for the tumor, like I could have been like, God, why me again? Why this? Why I'm already having so much problems. But because of the tumor, now I can go up to somebody in the public store and go pray for them.
Yep.
Before the tumor, I never did that.
Yeah.
So I never could just walk up to a random person and go pray for them.
Gives you perspective, right?
So now, yeah. So now it's like, man, I thank God. I'm like, thank you for giving me that tumor. Now I can go up to somebody and pray for them. So I guess looking at life in that way, like even I tore my Achilles 5 months ago. Same thing. I like as soon as I tore my Achilles, my left Achilles, I'm like, thank God my right one is still good. So I can go to work. So there's always a positive out of a negative. And like you were saying with going through the victim thing, but without the rain, you can't have green grass.
Can't have
So
them.
anytime there's a storm in our life,
Yeah,
just praise God that after the storm there's green grass.
that's right.
So
That's good.
getting rid of
Man, we could just end it on that, right?
yeah, like the victim mindset though is huge, man. And like you sharing that, seek help, obviously.
It's needed. It's the thing with on the therapy side, like for anybody who's like pretty close to me, they know that this is like one of the first things that I might suggest. We'll pay people to fix our cars, we'll pay people to mow our lawns, we'll pay people to do our taxes. But when it comes to like working on how we communicate, like, listen, I am the first one to admit that I'm not a great communicator at times, and especially if I'm frustrated or I feel hurt by someone, like I can turn into a total prick. And so that's why I have this individual who has no skin in the game, who I pay money to help me like walk through those emotions because I do want to be, it's commonly used now. I want to be a regulated man, and I know that I'm far from where I need to be. And so it's never ending. Like
Yeah.
I'm only 50. I got a lot more.
I wouldn't say you're I would never say you're 50. The way and I like even asked you the other day, I'm like, because you're in a band.
Yeah.
My question, I was like sitting there, I'm like, when does this guy have time?
Oh my goodness.
Well, especially with the kids, like now that
Yeah.
you're so involved in this business and now you got the band, I'm like, when does he have time?
Yeah, the band thing was kind of an accident. I've been passionate about music ever since my parents bought me Lionel Richie Can't Slow Down back in like 1985. And here I was, just a little boy, and I just loved that album. And I've been addicted to music kind of ever since. So the band thing kind of happened by accident. Eric, who worked with me, we worked together. Sean, Sean, we worked together. Anyway, we've been doing it for about 9 years now.
So awesome.
And we have fun. I used to write a lot more. I haven't been able to do that because I don't have time, but hopefully.
But you do need that. Like that.
It's just it's just an opportunity for me to do something different than the daily grind, which is, family takes a ton of work and energy, as we know, to do it right. And then, of course, the job. So it's just, we've been playing a little bit.
So to all the wives out there, let the husbands have a hobby or something that they're able to do. Because mentally, that's like for me, it's sports. I play football every Monday. Just because like that's the only time.
Tackle?
No, not that.
Okay, I was
That's
going
how
to be
I
like,
actually
man, I
tore
was
my
like,
Achilles. My wife's like, you're never playing ever again.
so flag?
Yeah, we play
That's
in
cool,
indoor
man.
flag
I
league.
didn't know
And I
this.
play hockey as well, like in
Oh,
a
wow,
league.
look at you.
But if it wasn't for those things, I think mentally I'll go like cuckoo.
Yeah, everybody needs that. It's not just obviously a dude thing, but you got to fill your cup up. Like if you don't fill it up, there's nothing to pour out. If you're constantly redlining the engine and you're not putting oil and gas in it, it's going to
I
blow.
think men need that mental break from everything, even from family.
Oh,
I hate to say it, but like sometimes men need that mental break, even from like a couple hours just away from everybody to mentally reset.
it's true.
It's maybe not, I don't know how it is as being like I haven't been 9 to 5 in a long time. So I'm not really sure about that. But as an entrepreneur, we're working 24/7.
Yeah.
I like even at night, you can ask my wife, I don't sleep because my mind is constantly thinking of new ideas.
Yeah, you can't shut.
Like I'm not,
You don't shut the brain off.
yeah, you don't.
It's totally normal.
So playing that football for those 2 hours, my brain doesn't focus on work.
Plus, you don't have a choice. You have to focus on that.
Yeah, so
That's why the band thing, I like it.
that's why you're not probably thinking about.
I can't. Like, I'm reading, notes.
Yeah, so I think we need that as like you need, especially as an entrepreneur. I think you really do need that the couple hours a week or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're in a band.
Yeah, we have fun. Yeah, Pedro Reacher. I don't have a huge, as you know, social media presence, but
Which I'm telling him you should probably invest because man, like just the growth in business. I'm not sure if Macadam has marketing.
we do some stuff online. It's nothing too crazy. And as we, in time, we will rebrand to the new name, which is going to be Envision, which is awesome.
That's a really great name.
It's a great name. Mike and Marianne's company out of Portland. So we'll eventually get there. But all these types of things, we need to sharpen the spear and get better.
Yeah, it's like as a business, as now the culture is changing the generation, everything's online.
Yeah.
So like I've learned I got to move quick to kind of switch to online. Like all of our leads are coming in like social media. We're getting so much leads. That's awesome. If you can incorporate that, it's like we don't want to be like Kodak. I don't know if you know Kodak. We live right next to Kodak, so
They became obsolete in time.
yeah, they're like, who needs to, who's gonna need this or this? And
That's right.
we're gonna stick to the films.
That's right.
Everything went
Oh,
digital.
that's right.
Now they shut down 90% of the company. So it's crazy. Trying to adapt to the time we're living in. I think social media is a big presence.
I tell you what, when you do get a chance, shout out to Luca and White Tia. They had their baby little girl,
Oh yeah,
pretty awesome.
amazing.
So that's why he's not here right now. But when you connect with him, you guys got to compare notes on that because he's like the master with that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to
He's
compare.
killing it. So I look up. I never met him in person, but I look up to I'm like bragging to everybody. Like, yo, I'm going to Luca's studio. He's got almost 1 million YouTube subscribers. I'm like, I've never met this guy.
And obviously, he rarely ever reads.
Yeah, I can see
Like
that.
he doesn't read that much at all. That's the one thing I've told him. I'm like, he needs to read a lot.
Are you a reader?
I used to read a lot more, and truthfully, now I kind of do the. My wife gets on me about it. She reads, which I'm really proud of her for that. But I do. I read news articles. I go down that rabbit hole, and I just read tons of articles. So I need to start reading more books again. I used to back in the day.
I kind of wanted to transition into what's your daily habits or rituals? What do you do? What's your day in?
What does it look like?
Yeah, what's your day look like?
When you've got a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old, like as it is for probably a lot of dads and moms out there, like the day starts off with that. So we get up, we get the day going. For me to mentally get prepared, music is a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even in our home, we constantly have music playing, and it's like medicine for my soul. So when I'm driving to work, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Like if I've got like an important meeting, but I need a little bit of a pick me up, that might dictate what kind of music I listen to. Sometimes if I need to calm my spirit, like I will listen to worship music on the way to work and try to calm my spirit.
Well, music has such a big influence.
It is a big deal.
People don't understand the lyrics and just how much it can. You listen to rap, you're speeding on the freeway.
Yes.
On the freeway. No.
Usually it's 80s music for me when I'm doing it.
80s. So I think you and the cameraman are gonna relate after.
Yeah,
'cause
so
him and his wife record music.
Oh, that's cool.
He plays the guitar, and his wife is a amazing singer.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna show you. She doesn't speak great English, but she sings amazing in English.
I love it. I love to.
So I will definitely show you some of the clips of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's your. And then you go to work, obviously. But
Yeah, and so even at the work thing, I don't have an office in either of our design centers. It's intentional. A lot of the time, if I am meeting with my teammates, like sometimes we'll meet at the office, at one of the islands upstairs in the design center. But often we'll meet off-site. For me, I kind of like to stay on the move a little bit with that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't say that my approach is maybe a traditional one, but for me, I have to change up the scenery enough or I kind of get bored. And so that's how I do it. So I've got different coffee shops that I will work out from time to time. People know this who are in my circle.
which is nice because you go to those coffee shops, networking.
Networking,
Just wear
the noise. I like a little bit of volume in the back. Sometimes I do work in the design center, so I'll sit there and listen to homeowners, maybe talking with one of our designers about their home. And I got to work out. I try to work out. Right now, it's tough with our son.
Oh, of course.
But 2 to 3 times a week if I can. And then I haven't done it for a while, but across the street, I did jiu-jitsu. So I did that for quite a few years, and I'll be getting back into that hopefully soon.
Keeps you flexible.
Keeps me flexible, and that's one of the best for me. Oh man, it's so good for my mental health to just sweat like that. If for those who haven't done it, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I just got asked to join. It's crazy because
You need to do it.
it's free for us. So I do security at church.
Ah,
So anybody that's on the security team they offer it for free. And the guy that runs it,
Stan, you got to do it.
it's 5 in the morning.
That's
So,
fine. That's how we
I'm an early
started.
bird though. I'm an early bird.
That's how
but
we started.
My Achilles tore. So the whole reason he's like, who cares? Who cares? You're a kid. I'm like, dude, my Achilles. I can't go fight.
You talk about being able to just be present in the moment when you're doing jujitsu because you're talking about chokes and arm bars and you have to be really present. You can't be thinking about whether or not you're gonna submit this bid.
My wife may not be happy. I might add something to the list, but
Well, if it's at 5 in the morning,
yeah, that's what I tell her. I'm like, you got to realize this is not your time because you're sleeping still with the kids. So
yeah,
I'm like,
if it's not affecting all that. So anyway, I highly recommend it. I haven't done it for a while since our son was born because it's been pretty much all hands on deck with that. But I'll get back into that. My long-term objective with that is I'd like to, I guess by the age of 60, we'll call it, I'd like to get my black belt and eventually transition into maybe one day partnering up with our coach and maybe having our own place or something.
Well, I kind of also wanted to ask you on how do you keep so many people happy in a company? As an like me as a business owner, I don't have that many people working with me. And I hate the title boss too. So when we have meetings at our like weekly meetings, I always tell them like, guys, you never call me boss.
Yeah, I hate boss.
You and I both work for Torch Remodeling Construction. Right?
Yep,
I work there, you work there, we all work there.
I agree with that.
That's it. We're all, we all work for this company. No one works for me. So you can ask Ivan or anybody else in my company. I hate the title boss.
I'm
Even on my business cards, I don't have like CEO or
Yep.
nothing. It's just direct. I think mine is like it used to be sales manager. Now it's like a director or development director or something.
Good.
So boss is not. I don't like that title. But like I don't have that many people. But how do you keep those people? Because there's always gonna be no, unhappy people, no matter what situation. How do you keep those people hungry and happy and like willing to show up?
So years ago, before I worked for Macadam, I had a job. I worked for a corporation, and my manager Sean said there's two things you have to keep steady and strong with your employees: is they have to feel appreciated and they have to feel fairly compensated. Okay. He says you can fairly compensate someone, but if they don't feel appreciated, you'll lose them. You can appreciate somebody, but if they don't fairly compensate it, you lose them. So I try to keep the balance in that. Like at the end of the day, I'd love to be able to honestly pay everybody at our company more money.
Oh,
It's like
100%.
we live, we were talking about it earlier. Like you're buying houses for 300,000, man. Like we're doing like one bedroom remodels for 300,000. Like Seattle market is quite expensive. So that's been tough. But that being said, how do I keep them happy? I think it's a misnomer to think you can. I don't keep my team happy all the time. Do they have someone they can talk to if they need to? Yes. Do they have a voice? Yes. Can they come to me with anything? I think the answer is yes. So I know it's overused, but I'll say it. I try to create, we're really trying to create like a safe place, so to speak, like a culture where people realize that they're heard. Because if they feel heard, they feel appreciated, and they feel fairly compensated, I think you'll keep great people. So, I mean, it's not quite that simple, but I think that's what has got us here.
And probably just getting rid of the boss title.
Yeah, I'm not a big boss title guy.
So maybe that helps them as well. That they feel like
Yeah.
they're more like a team and you're part of the team.
I mean, and I love how you describe it. Listen, I just have a different position on the field. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like you can whatever you want to call me, right? I've heard this analogy before and I like it. Like each of my people are in, cars and they're going around the track. I'm the guy standing in the tower trying to give them a heads up like, hey, on turn 4, there's a crash and you need to get up against the wall because you're going to hit it.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
So for me, they call me and they know like, hey, Mike, I've got something I'm working through. What do you think? You see, I even call myself Mike.
I was going to say, Mike,
Exactly. I know. Jeez Louise. I've got something I'm working through. What do you think? And we just sharpen each other that way. And listen, our company and our culture is not for everybody. Some people, it's not going to work. And sometimes we make bad hires. And when I say bad hires, to preface that, it doesn't mean that that's a bad person. It just means for our team, it's not a good fit. And vice versa. Our company is not a good fit for them and vice versa, right? I think that's important to understand. Your company cannot be all things to all people. However, if you can create a certain culture that allows them to like grow, have opportunity for growth, I think people will stay around.
that's why I enjoyed. Like this was the best job I've had working. Like, I've had so many jobs before I came on, but I loved the system that you guys had, even back in 10 years ago.
I appreciate it. I think we're even better, man. You should come back and
Yeah.
work with us again.
No, like
See what
you
can
had
compare
such
notes.
a good, like, I love going to work. Like, who likes to do tile at 18 years old? No 18-year-old enjoys doing tile, but like, I enjoyed being in that company. Like, the meetings we had, like throwing the airplanes. Like, it was just so cool. The Christmas party, like, in general, like, everything, the culture you guys built was so awesome. It's probably way better now
Oh, I
because you guys
appreciate
have
that.
grown.
Yeah.
You said 4 times.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm guesstimating with those figures. I don't know if that's NASA accurate, but we definitely have grown quite a bit. And we've done pretty well.
No.
But it's not easy to keep that machine going at times. I feel like I'm, the therapist, so to speak, trying to talk people down from ledges. Also, you can't manage what you can't measure. So we have a lot of things in place to help us measure kind of our success. And that in and of itself really helps me to identify maybe some potential red flags, whether it's a process that's not working or it's a people thing. Normally it's a process because, you know, we're talking about books, Good to Great, Jim Collins. I mean, life changer for me, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, life changing for me. So those two books combined, like the one focuses on business, the Good to Great, and then the other one focuses on the individual. And when you kind of combine those two things, that's been for me really foundational to how I come at business. So to be like a level 5 leader is an incredibly difficult thing to do, but I don't, it's not impossible. I don't do it on the daily. That's impossible. I think it's impossible to do it maybe on the daily, but there's moments where maybe I hit it. There's moments where people on my team hit it. And so if we're all like, hey, we can do this, I think it works out pretty well.
And having like meetings probably.
We do.
Oh,
But we've even changed up how we do the meetings. So like when you were with us, we would do like a company meeting once a month and bring everybody together.
yeah.
Now what we do is we have more so, we still bring the team together, but that might be we'll call it 4 to 6 months like that.
Well, because now your team has grown. You can't.
It's growing. It's
You
too,
can't just the amount of money that gets thrown out by bringing.
just all of that. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to do that.
Correct.
So you're probably just bringing.
So we do departments, and based on our size, we do them about, I found every 8 weeks, at least for us, seems to work really well. And we'll have our list, and then we'll also maybe revisit some things from last time, and that at least today. But it used to be okay to do it the other way, and we still had success. So we've had to adjust based on what we're facing,
Yeah.
and that's been really helpful for us.
Well, see, I'm learning that because I'm in that early stage.
Well, how many employees do you have?
We were up to 12, so yeah,
Yeah,
12.
that's all
But now
right.
we're kind of switching to the GC. So I think we're like 8. I think now.
Okay.
I think we feel comfortable at the 8
Yeah.
for now. But for us, it's easy to do weekly meetings because you can bring in 8 people.
Yeah. 50
for an hour.
54 is a little more challenging.
Yeah, so now I understand why you guys are not doing it as often. It
Yeah.
makes sense. It wouldn't make sense to do.
So do you remember how many employees we had when you were with us all those years ago?
Well, just in the crew that I had, it was still quite a bit.
Yeah, we're still up there.
You were probably like just a member of the Christmas party, but then they brought husbands and wives. So I wouldn't say less than 30.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're still up in there.
I think you were at 30.
So we maxed out. We got up to 64 employees one year.
That's crazy.
That's nuts, man.
That's tough. That's way the payroll alone. Like when I was at 12, I'm like, man, I got to bring in this much just to pay out.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
So, but that pressure really drives you to go and get business.
That's, we were talking earlier about people don't realize like what you had to do to get there. Like he's no longer with us, but I had one employee and he was telling me what he wanted. And I think my response was, I said, well, when you're because he wanted something that I had. It was really interesting. Like he was very new to our team. And when I mean very new, he's about a year in, young, very bright, like just a really, really sharp young man. And I saw a really great future with him. And he said, well, I want this. And I remember saying, well, when you're with the company for 20 years, you can probably have that. Like it was, it's very different. And so the different generations that are coming up, yeah, I can't get at it the same way. I've kind of had to adjust to how I approach people based on who they are, kind of like children.
Yeah.
Like I don't,
100%.
I don't raise my children all the same.
It's so
Well, probably
hard
don't
now.
either.
It's going to be hard. Like, at least you're already up there in experience.
What do you call me, old?
Not old.
What does that mean? What did you say?
Experienced.
Up there? What does that mean?
Experienced. No, because it's going to get difficult. Like for me, even I'm seeing the difficult because a lot of people that are coming on, they want to be already because they're comparing themselves in social media. So like, oh, why this guy's got already a Lamborghini? He's only 20 years old. So he wants to come work for us at 20 years old and be making.
Yeah.
Like, buddy, that's not how it works. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be harder and harder to find people that are going to stick around.
It's tough.
I mean, that's why prices are through the roof. Like construction now we're charging, like the latest job we did, $70,000 job. And I'm like, how are people paying this? Like 5 years ago, I would have never paid 70 grand to do this little, but that's the new thing. Like in order to keep the employees happy, you got to pay now. You probably people always asking for raises too that don't deserve it. That's the
Yeah,
problem
it
too.
happens. We try to do automatic, like, cost of living adjustments of COLA every year. Some people, though, that we have on our team, many of them, like, they're deserving of more than that. But it's finding the win-win between the health
Like you said, yeah. Well,
and the health of the employee. It's a balance, so fairly compensated. And I love
yeah,
the
I'm gonna apply that in my life because if you're gonna compensate everybody up here, that's gonna mean what's gonna drive the business to.
well, the business will go bye-bye, and then those people will be unemployed. So you really do have to find a balance in it.
I guess how do you? The thing I struggle with is how do I let them know that you might know a little.
I think, maybe by example, right? Like, if you're driving a Lamborghini, I don't know if you
No, no, I'm not.
right, okay. But, like, if you're driving a Lamborghini and then you're saying, "Well, listen, you don't deserve a Lamborghini," that might be a little different within reason, right? So, I think part of it is also, like, how do you earn anybody's respect, right? How do you earn your wife's respect or your friend's respect? Like, you say, you live a certain way and you try to be an example, try to be a light. I love saying this because I believe in it. Like, those who water others water themselves. So if you give not to get, right? But you give because that's where your heart's at. People see that and they're drawn to that. So I think that's the way you do it. And listen, I want to be a generous company and I want to take care of people the best I can. So I really am constantly looking at people's effort and I'll call them up or they'll just get a random email and say, "Hey, we really love what you did this month. We can tell you're getting at it. Here's a bonus."
Sauce.
And they have no clue it's coming. So I do try to keep a little bit of a surprise in that, and I'll reach out to some of my department heads and say, "Hey, who on your team deserves something this month?" So we do try to do that.
No, and that's I respect that a lot because a lot of people want to keep it for themselves, but sharing a little bit
Just
goes
spread the wealth.
such a long way, and I feel like they'll be appreciated, and they're never gonna want to leave.
Now, if they feel that kind of love, I think you'll keep them for a long time.
No, and I just even like getting emails from you 10 years ago, like from Victor. Victor be like, "Hey, Mike just sent us an email that you guys are doing very well." It's like, boom, you light up, and then the drive home, the 3 hour drive home in traffic was like, man, we had an email from Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, back then we all called you Mike.
Everybody calls me Mike. It's all good with my, new business partner, Mike.
I bet you your email was
It's Mike. It's Mike. It's not even Michael. It's Mike. So that's going to change when we
change.
when we do the rebranding. It's going to be Mike. So we're going to change all that up. I don't think I'm going to change everybody's mind on the whole Mike.
Man, I just in general this conversation, I already have so many ideas on how to change my company around a little bit
Yeah, that's good.
to grow. But
Hey, I haven't in anything we're talking about. It's something I've learned. It's something I've read. It's something that I've seen. I'm not like creating a new way to do it. Like, this stuff is being done and is being done well by other companies. So when you look at like a Costco where they keep their employees forever, like, why? Yeah, you could have a Sam's Club that's supposed to be exactly the same experience,
I agree.
but it's not.
Same thing with Chick-fil-A.
Exactly.
I
Why?
I did a lot of studying on Chick-fil-A.
There
And
exactly.
yeah, I learned so much. Like, how do they keep their employees so happy?
Yep.
And like the structure,
Appreciated and
Yeah.
fairly compensated.
it's crazy. And I learned there how they train their employees. You're not an employee. You're part of like something big. Yeah, I think that's what people love to see. That you're
They give them ownership in a lot of ways, right? They feel like they're a part of, to your point, they're a part of like, I can affect this culture in a positive way. They're just not like a number to
it's
some
wild. 'Cause you
corporation.
compare like McDonald's to Chick.
Chalk and cheese, baby.
Yeah, so
That's totally different.
I did a lot of research on
That's good.
Chick-fil-A because I'm always fascinated going in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are these people so happy all the time? How are they so polite?
So this is what you need to do. I'll give you some insights. You need to go to Chick-fil-A. And I mean, you've got right there in front of you a group of people you can ask. And next time you're there, you say, "Hey, why do you like your job? Do you like working here?" "Yes, I do." And then you just follow it up like, "Why?"
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
Just go
that's
to
what I learned.
and then go to McDonald's. "Do you love working at McDonald's?"
I guarantee you
You can just do a little taste test.
yeah, you know what? That's actually really good. I'm going to do that because I did a lot of research on Chick-fil-A because I'm always fascinated.
Yeah.
How everything's so organized. The everything is moving like so smooth. There's no hiccups. Never get your order wrong. You go to everywhere else, like everything is screwed up. So I'm always fascinated by it. I always do research on companies like that. So
And larger companies, like we're talking about Costco and stuff. Like, I mean, with AI and you could literally put that into AI. why is Costco a successful company with its employees? And I have a feeling it'll shoot out 10 items.
Well, I'm glad you brought up AI. Do you guys use it? Do you use it a lot?
We don't use it a ton yet. I realize it's coming. It's something that me and my business partner are going to definitely be talking about. I utilize it from time to time, more on a personal level right now. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing stopping that.
I highly recommend.
Nothing stopping that train. So you use it. How do
Probably.
you use it?
So my business, I would say, probably almost doubled since we started using AI.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
Pretty slick, man.
just like in general, how it organizes our company,
Yeah.
like the lady in my office, our accountant and stuff, like presentations, drafts up all of our contracts, presentations. Like our business has like grown so much just by AI.
That's
Like
cool.
even the new program that
Which one do you guys use?
ChatGPT.
You do? Okay.
It's-
That's the one I use. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. We pay for it. I forgot how much it is a month, but
Dude, I'm
like,
telling you.
hey, we're setting up a meeting, with an insurance company. Can you draft up a presentation? Boom, a whole presentation. We plug it in, we go on the computer. Now we got a whole presentation. Weekly meetings. Like, hey, here,
I love it.
we're doing a weekly meeting. Can you run over and sets up the whole presentation?
Yeah.
Now, me having to pay an employee 10 hours to sit and work on that presentation is
Yeah.
done in 2 minutes. It's wild. So I
That's
definitely
good.
highly recommend social media. And I'll show you our page after we leave. But
Yeah.
social media, even just hiring a full-time marketer. We're one of the first companies in Rochester, New York that started. So when I hired Ivan, the camera guy, people saw our business on social media and marketing. They started copying. So now we got like 4 other companies there that are doing exactly what we're doing.
That's the biggest flattery you could receive. Someone
Yeah, that's
copying
what
what
I-
you're doing, right?
That's why I'm like, man,
But
why is
they're not the real deal. And then you can't do what Kodak did, right? You can't think like you are so good at what you do that if all of a sudden one of those companies starts to figure out a creative way to do something else,
like, yeah, I'm not worried. If
you
we're
got to
at-
adjust it.
Like my camera guy, he's like, hey, if someone's copying us, be happy that you.
Yeah, that's a huge.
But it's wild. I'll show you afterwards, like, what a big deal that is. Hiring a marketing person that all day long just drives around, videotapes all your projects,
Yeah.
updates. It's unbelievable. It's so worth the investment.
Okay,
Camera, I'll
okay.
quickly share,
No, I like it.
because I think you can incorporate that in your business.
Yeah. I've been told by honestly numerous people at our company that we need to be better about that stuff. So it is for sure something that is a weakness of ours. And so I'd love to get your feedback.
Well, so what I look at it is when a person constantly sees the same thing floating, eventually they'll call you.
Yeah.
So like if a person sees you one time, like your van or a big but if it's constantly hitting them in the face every day, like you're going social media, oh, man, again, TRC, and then they call us. So constantly being in their face, you're like how you get a customer.
And that do like IG,
Yeah, just Instagram and
all of it,
yeah,
Facebook,
like
the
I'll
whole deal?
show you, yeah, everything. Like I'll show you like the videos he makes for our company.
Yeah.
He's not just my podcast camera guy. He drives around all of our locations every day, takes videos of progress videos, reels, combines them. There, it's unbelievable. I'll show you.
Cool. I like it.
But just that initial investment, buying the camera, the drone, paying him a salary is.
I was looking at a couch last night, true story, on IG. And then all of a sudden, I'm not joking, man, like within the next 10 minutes, I saw about 5 different that's trying to sell me a couch. And I was like, what? It was that quick. Anybody got me going. I'm going down this couch rabbit hole, and I know way too much about couches now. I'm just throwing
That's
it out
awesome. But that's how it is. Like people that are not utilizing like that, they're missing out on so much.
there. Yeah,
It's
that's
great.
good to know.
But I'll definitely share off camera like the way we learned.
Yeah.
So much the past year. Last year I lost a ton of money just by being.
And are you learning from that?
Oh, I'm so thankful I went through that. And
There you go.
Now I'm like, man.
So we call that education.
Yeah, we
Right?
don't. I don't
Some
even
people go to school and pay money to learn something. You learned it by losing money, which is paying money to learn a valuable
100%.
lesson.
Yeah, so I learned a lot of valuable lessons in business, but
That's good.
I'll definitely. I think your business. I mean, you guys are doing so well already. But imagine if you can be like everybody in this area, just like Macadam, or the new name.
Yeah.
You guys are setting it up.
Envision, yeah.
I think-
Yeah, we're going to definitely grow organically. We want to do that. And we don't take business we can't handle. We still do that. We did that back.
Yeah, that's the best way to.
That goes without. I mean, if we're going to hurt a current client to take another one, we won't do it. So it's been going good.
Yeah,
It's been going good.
awesome. Anything else you want to share? It's, Wayne, I just in this alone, I learned so much in business. No, it's good. I feel like I'm gonna be blessed more than anybody else watching. So
No, it's good. It's good to see you. Like I said, I'm proud of you, man. Like you're just getting at it, and I didn't realize you're not even 30 yet.
now I'll be 30 this year.
Think about what you'll be when you're my age. Think about
It's
that.
like
Like just wrap your brain.
I think the biggest thing is my focus is not money. Like I'm not a lover of money.
That's good. Money's just a tool.
Yeah, so
It's
the
like a
thing is,
hammer.
I think that's what kind of helps me in this. I don't look at money.
Yeah.
I'm not like
Good.
money, money. Like
Yeah.
that's the obviously you need it to keep going, but
Money is just a tool. A very close friend of mine, I remember he told me this. He's like, listen, we're farmers, not hunters. And he says, you just got to plant seeds, right? So we're constantly trying to plant seeds. And it doesn't matter if it's, seeds in your marriage and your friendships and your hobbies and your business. Like you just have to plant seeds and then you got to water that stuff. Like you said, right? Without water, you're not going to get the grass. So
a question to ask you: do you think people are born entrepreneurs or are they made entrepreneurs? Because this is like a debate I see. Some people say you can be born or you can be made into one, but what do you think is more? Are you born? Do you think a person is like born with that ambition, or is
I mean, I think part of it's in our DNA, how we're just wired. Like to say, like, I guess you could see someone who did not get what they needed maybe from their parents growing up,
yeah,
and yet they still became like crazy successful. So I would say that that was in their DNA. I also think there's people that are not entrepreneurs that probably could be incredibly successful, but they weren't watered the right way. I would say it's probably a little bit of both.
yeah,
I think it's got to be in your DNA a little bit. I know some people that I could tell them 1,000 times over, like, hey, I think you should be an entrepreneur, but they'll never do it because they're just not wired that way.
yeah.
So born,
It's like the last podcast. Like my cousin, I had him on. He was saying like, "What's the first thing? Just go start. Like, don't be that person. Like, I'm gonna start a business." And then you see him a year later. Like, yo, did you start the business? Yeah. It's like, don't say it. Just go open an LLC.
yep.
Go,
And if you fail, it's okay. I started with another buddy of mine. We started a demolition company. It didn't succeed. It was very, for me, it was very difficult, honestly, to kind of walk through that because it's one of the times where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I failed at that. Like I failed at that. So that's a good example. But when I realized, when I kind of had the epiphany, like, oh man, this is not going to
yeah.
happen, I just shut it down. Like I said before, like the sharper the knife, the cleaner the cut. I just shut it down, and that was it. So I moved on, and it's okay. I learned a lot from that experience. There's things that I'll never do again regarding how I approach that. I have, for me personally, like kind of, I have a business mentor in my life. He's older than me. He's someone, not that they have to
Yeah.
be older, but someone that I really look up to. And he's become a really good friend of mine. He's the one I kind of bounce ideas off of. And then there's some people I would say that hopefully I'm pouring into. So it's kind of a balance, right? So that would be from the, we're talking about being an entrepreneur, but if that's something you're serious about, like get connected to somebody who's done it and
Yeah.
see if it's something that excites you. And because if you're not excited about it, don't do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to fly into one of your meetings.
Yeah, you should.
Or just like I would love to just even
You should.
because my end goal is kind of to be not end goal, but like I want to be where you're at, and but it takes years. But if you could learn from somebody that's already done it, yeah, mentor. That's why mentorship is so important.
It's huge. And enjoy the journey. This idea that, oh, well, when I get here, I've arrived. Man, I've gotten to a lot of places where I'm like, okay, now I have that. What's next? Like life truly, you've heard it before, but it really is a journey. It's got a lot of stops and
I'm gonna have to get your email after this. Yeah. Like, wait, Mike, what'd you say again
yeah,
about?
that's all good. Well, it'll be taped.
It'll be taped. Yeah, that's
You
true.
remember a
No,
lot.
because I can learn a lot from you, man.
Yeah, hey, I'm
You
excited to
have a
stay.
mentor, but you could be a mentor to so many people.
I appreciate that, buddy.
So, and I definitely highly recommend you start a podcast too.
Well, like I said, we're talking about it. I think
Because like
that's something
we're
that might
we're
be
also transitioning to a portion which no one else is doing it. We're gonna have a podcast for construction.
as well.
We bring in like vendors, like Camco. It's a drywall company that sells drywall, or you guys probably use Deltile, or
Yeah, all of those.
So we bring in like presidents of those companies. Yeah, sit down with them. So that's our next thing,
That's good.
which also is networking. You know,
That's all it is. People need a voice. I think this is a good. Obviously, there's a couple of podcasts out there. It's pretty popular, but if we can inspire people, like I'm pretty passionate about that. I don't, I joke with my team a lot and with customers, like, I don't care about carpet fuzzy side up anymore. It's not about that for me. It's about, it's about the people part of it.
That's awesome.
So,
Man, time is ticking away. It's almost been an hour.
that's crazy.
Man, crazy how fast
Yeah.
time. So, man, I appreciate having you on.
Thank you, buddy. This has been amazing.
Guys, this has been a true honor. I'm definitely going to be flying in probably for some meetings with you guys
Yeah.
just to learn about. We'll share off camera a couple things, but thanks for tuning in. Michael Owen. This guy's a legend. I
It's too kind.
didn't see you. I mean, I haven't been around you too long, but just from the times I have here, and I always tell Victor, Mike should be a motivational speaker.
I appreciate that.
So,
Very
awesome, guys. So, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the Stan Lebed Show. We'll post Luca's on there too, so you guys subscribe to Luca for even letting.
And you need to get with Luca.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
gonna
that's next
definitely
level,
coordinate.
man. Yeah,
I'll
you need to
coordinate
do
something
something
with
like
him because that guy's I've been watching
Well, he-
a little bit.
I think he used to live in New York.
I think we'll relate even.
So I think you should bring him out. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure he used to live in New York.
It just happens to be he had the baby a couple days.
He did. Which
Which is a much
congratulations.
bigger
I
blessing
know.
than sitting here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So thanks guys for tuning in. Till next time.